everyone. So we've been talking this week about firefighters and the important job they do in saving people from fires. But our story today is about Fireman Sam, but he's not saving people from fires. It's called the Pontypandy Flood. Shall we find out how they're going to rescue people today? It was a beautiful morning in Pontypandy. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and in his bedroom over his mum's shop, Norman Price had just woken up. Norman hated getting up early. He yawned and stretched as he pulled on his clothes before shuffling over to his bedroom window. When he pulled the curtains apart, Norman couldn't believe what he saw. Charlie's fishing boat was outside his bedroom window. Norman ran downstairs to find his mum standing on the shop counter with water all around. "Mum," he told her, "I think the whole town is flooded." Dilys thought for a moment. "You'd better get back upstairs," she said. "I'll ring the fire station to find out what to do." But Norman had other things on his mind. "Do you think Wooly and Lambkins will be all right in their field?" Norman asked. "I'm sure they'll be fine," Dilys said as she searched a shelf for her mobile phone. Meanwhile, up in Wallaby One, Fireman Sam and Tom Thomas were flying across Pontypandy, looking down at the damage. "This is the worst high tide I've ever seen," Sam told Tom. "And it won't go out again for 4 hours," Tom replied as he looked at the water below. It stretched from the quayside to the centre of the town and beyond. "I think we're going to have a busy day," Sam said. "The water is flowing down the street. That's usually a road. Now it's full of water." Just then, Wallaby One's radio crackled and Station Officer Steele's voice boomed. "The Jones family went onto their roof to escape the flood," he told Sam and Tom. "Now they're stuck and need help getting to safety." "We're on our way, sir," Sam replied as Tom steered Wallaby One towards the quayside. What are they flying in? What is Wallaby One? It's a helicopter, so they can see everyone from the air. When they arrived at the Hullfish Cafe, Sam bravely lowered himself down from Wallaby One in a special harness. "Is everyone all right?" Sam asked. "We're okay," Bronwyn replied, "but we can't find Lion." "I'm sure he'll be fine. He's a clever cat," said Sam. "Let's get you all back to the station." And so one by one, Sam winched the Jones family to safety. So they winched, that means they pulled them back up. Pulled them up into the helicopter. At the same time, Penny and Elvis were steering Neptune through the flooded streets. This must be Neptune, their little boat. To help anyone in need, they found Trevor stranded on top of his bus. "I'm glad to see you," Trevor said as he wriggled down and landed softly on board Neptune. The three of them set off towards the fire station. Back in his bedroom, Norman was still worried about Wooly and Lambkins. As he gazed out of his window towards their field, something caught his eye. A small rowing boat had drifted under his window. Norman looked at it for a moment, and an idea popped into his head. "I'll go to the field and save them myself," he said aloud. Soon he was shimmying down a rope made of knotted bed sheets into the boat. As Norman rowed the boat through Pontypandy, he heard a noise. Meow! Meow! Norman stopped rowing. Meow! There it was again. Meow! Norman looked around and saw Lion floating on an upturned dustbin lid. He helped the poor little cat into his boat, and then he set off to save Wooly and Lambkins. That was the cat that the children were asking about. Penny, Elvis and Trevor were sailing past the shop in Neptune when Dilys rushed out. "Help!" she called. "Norman's disappeared!" In a panic, Trevor jumped down from Neptune. "Don't worry, Dilys," he said. "I'm here to help." But Dilys wasn't listening. He was worried about Woolly and Lambkins, she told Penny and Elvis. "I think he may have gone to save them." "We need to talk to Wallaby One," gasped Penny as she grabbed the lifeboat's radio. "Penny to Sam, do you hear me?" In Wallaby One, Sam and Tom were back in the air after dropping the Jones family back at the fire station. "Reading you loud and clear. Penny, what's the problem?" "Norman has gone out alone in the floodwater to look for his sheep," Penny said over the radio. "Okay, Penny, we'll start a search operation from up here while you and Elvis search from Neptune," Sam said calmly. And with that, Tom swooped Wallaby One back over the town towards the fields, getting back in the helicopter. Back in his rowing boat, Norman had finally found Woolly and Lambkins and pulled the two sheep on into the boat. But the little lamb was scared and wouldn't stop rushing around. The boat began to rock and sway. "Stay still, Lambkins," Norman said as he reached for his oars. But his weight unbalanced the boat even more, and he toppled overboard. Splash! Norman splashed around in the cold water. "Help!" he shouted as loudly as he could, but there was no one around him to hear. As he thrashed around in the water, the boat began to drift away from him, taking Woolly, Lambkins and Lion with it. Who's going to save him? Up in Wallaby One, Sam and Tom were zooming across the bay when they saw something below. It was Norman. Sam grabbed the radio. "Sam to Penny," he said. "Norman is in the water at Breakers Field. This is an emergency." "Penny to Sam," came her reply. "We'll get there straight away." Back in Neptune, Elvis and Dilys held on tightly as Penny cranked the lifeboat's engine up to full speed. Soon they were skimming across the water towards Breakers Field. When they saw Norman, Penny slowed down before Elvis pulled him out of the water. "It's a good job you're wearing your life jacket, Norman," said Penny. "Thanks for saving me," he replied. "But we need to get Woolly, Lambkins and Lion too." The animals were still floating out to sea. Penny whizzed to the rescue. The animals were very scared, but Norman spoke to them softly as Penny gently lifted them into the lifeboat. They were safe at last. Back at the fire station, everyone was pleased to see Norman and the animals safe and well. The tide was going out and the floodwaters were going down. "You shouldn't have gone out in the flood," Station Officer Steele told Norman sternly. "You were in real danger out there." "But you were very brave for saving the animals," Fireman Sam said kindly, "even if we had to save you in the end." So the firefighters were saving people from the water today in our story. What other people do you know that save people from water? Maybe when you're at the swimming pool or at the beach? Maybe if you were out in a boat out at sea or on a lake, who do you think could save you? Have a think and let me know. If you can tell me, maybe you could draw a picture of who you think it could be or send us a message. Okay, see you really soon. Bye, have a great day.